Understandably, though, a lot of people are talking about this war, whose side we're taking, what's happening. But here's my primary concern: getting American hostages back. That should be the center focus for every American asset right now. I come on here every night as an anchor and give you the news, but before all that, for 9 years, I kicked in thousands of doors, and I called in a lot of airstrikes in countries that hate us. So I'm going to tell you what it's going to take to get our people back. A month ago, Biden sent a message to the world that each hostage is worth about $1 billion. That's what the global takeaway was from his recent prisoner exchange with Iran. That's not lost on Hamas either. So those hostages are multi-purpose, though. Hamas militants know that if they have hostages, Israel, and especially America, will be less likely to take out whole city blocks until we can confirm where our people are. And this is where our intel community comes in. You can have all the SEALs, Delta, planes, bombs, carriers, or whatever you want, but until you know where to direct those resources, it's useless. Like I have friends that I've served with that are now in this community that I've spoken to. They're really good at what they do. But the only thing we're better at is killing bad guys, breaking their stuff, and getting our people back. Hamas just lit a fire they can't put out. These fanatic savages say they're going to die for their ideology. Well, consider your invitation accepted. You know, I generally don't have a lot of good things to say about the Biden administration, but I think they're at least making the right move to start here. Activating SOCOM, our SEALs, Delta guys, to go get our people, I think that's the right move. But let me tell you how this is going to play out in real life, because it's not a video game. You have heavily armed opposition barricaded, obviously, with the same weapons we do, thanks to Biden leaving them in Afghanistan, by the way. The odds are about 10-1 against anyone going up against that. But our guys, we train 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, 11 months out of the year to beat those odds. We're going to blow your door through the back of your house with enough C4 to make Wile E. Coyote jealous. We can secure an entire house in a matter of seconds, and most of these savages won't even get a shot off. This is what happens when you allow my fraternity to do our job. And these cowards think they're going to ambush on us on the way out? Let me introduce you to enough close air support to register on the Richter scale. That's our strength, not diversity. That is why we are back-to-back World War champions. When you unleash the dogs of war, we will get the job done. If Biden gives the green light to this, our people are coming home. Hamas's only decision is how many of them are willing to die before they do that. But here's what every warfighter wants to know right now. The people jocking up in the middle of the night, carrying out these orders, need to know that politicians have our backs on the ground. Period, full stop. There may be collateral damage, and I don't want to see these waffle politicians turning on the very people that they just sent into harm's way to go get our people. If our troops need to drop a building to stop some incoming fire, I want that soft-handed, fancy-suit politician to hand them a medal, not a court-martial from some armchair analyst quarterback. Analysts write papers on stuff they read about stuff that I did, so you better listen to me on this one. Because some of the people you might send are my friends. This happened to me. They sent me in to get a guy that killed thousands, some of which were Americans. And they court-martialed us for war crimes when we did. For capturing a terrorist who hung and burned American contractors. The same people who have our citizens had our people in Iraq have these people now. That's who we're going to get. And I'm talking to you in D.C. You better check that bleeding heart at the door, especially you Democrats. This war, though, it's not bound for distant shores. Our borders have been wide open for the last 3 years. We airlifted tens of thousands of people out of Afghanistan that were brought here. Many of them, we have no idea who they were. New York has now elevated its threat level, and the leader of Hamas just called for a global day of jihad this Friday. So how about this? How about you come meet me and my people face to face, not from your bunker on your anonymous YouTube channel. You want to conduct your jihad here in my backyard? Who do you think you're talking to? We're Americans. We don't live in fear. We have risen to every challenge over the last 250 years. Our president may be a houseplant, but do not underestimate the reality that we own half the world's firearms, many of which are in the hands of over 20 million plus able-bodied veterans that wouldn't hesitate to drop someone for trying to harm our families. You want to mess around in my house? About to find out.